Alright, today on this Fan Dabudozy episode, I'm going to give you some tips on how to set a job up, on how to keep everything right from warping and stuff like that in different temperature conditions. Now, as you can see in here, I'm in my workshop and I've decided I'm going to do it up, which I told you in one of the last episode, I think, when I was going on about the trowel. So I just thought a quick episode, I'll give you a few tips on how to keep everything nice and tidy. So let's start off with number one, with plaster. Now, plaster, basically you want to put this in a corner. So you want to put this nicely in the corner because obviously it's got fragile bags, and also as well you want to keep it quite dry and in a nice safe place. The reason you want to keep it dry and stop it from getting wet is because if the bags get wet and they get penetrated through into the plaster sets and goes off, and basically it won't all go off. It'll just be so much little bits and bobs will go off and you get loads of clemmies inside your plaster mix, and before you know it, looks like pebble dash, and that's not what you want. So that's the first thing that you need to do. You need to make sure that they're all nice and flat, and I've just put a nice dust sheet here to stop them from getting the packets getting scraped, and just stack each other on top of each other. That's the first tip. So your second tip would be this here. You want to back off, Charlie? So your second tip would be this here. Get this out of the way. Plasterboards. Now, I've stood my plasterboards up like this. Right, I've stood them up because it's just easy for me just to get everything around and about. Obviously, they're nice against the wall. Less chance of getting damaged because, like the plasterboard, if they get wet or anything like that, they get damaged and they all come crumbled, and you don't want that. It's just a soggy mess, and they're unusable. You want to try and keep your corners good if you can. Yeah, good lad, up here, Charlie, up here. Look at me. Right, you got me, yeah? Right, so you want to get the corners good. And as long as you keep the corners good, everything should be all singing, all dancing. And yeah, another way of doing it is obviously, I've got a big pallet. It's what they come on. Big pallet that they come on. Are you getting me in the shot here?
Yeah.
Yeah, big pallet that they're coming on, and when they come on you could lie them down on the floor if you want to, if the space is big enough, and you can leave them all on the pallet and sit them all on the pallet, and that's a better situation. You can just pick them up, do your cuts and do whatever you need to do. But obviously that will be in a big warehouse where there's loads of space. Here there's hardly no space, so that is just going to get dismantled and probably used for something. So there we go. So tip number 3. If you've got old doors, or doors for argument's sake, a couple of doors that you're going to use, basically what you've got to do is, which I haven't done here, which I'm going to do now, is you turn these round and make sure that, that they're against the wall. You want them both against the wall, so you want one corner there and one corner there, so basically that they don't warp. If obviously you're reusing them again, or if they're brand new doors and you just got to stand them up, make sure when you stand them up, if you stand them up for space, make sure you keep them out of the way, obviously on corner to corner. Just all that does then is it stops them from warping, and it keeps it all good. So I'm going to turn this around now. And then that is that. Happy days. There we go. So, tip number 4. Round here then. Tip number 4. When stacking your wood, basically I've got some wood here because I need it for the top up there. I'm going to be using it making some bits and bobs. So all I've done is I've put these chocks underneath to give them a gap, gives them an air gap, and all that does is try and keeps them straight as they possibly can be, and it stops them from going all over the place, warping and things like that in this obviously this climate that we are in, and it dries them out and keeps them dry. So obviously these need to dry.
Hi.
So these need to dry, so because these need to dry, I've basically put these chocks in and it'll help everything dry. So yeah, so there's, I can't think of anything else.
There's tip number 4 finished. Action.
Right. Tip number 5, last tip. Basically, when storing paint, you've got oil-based paint, which I've just got some oil-based floor paint, which is going to be for the floor. And you've got some masonry paint that you might put on your outside of the brickwork on the house, or it could be emulsion, anything. I've just got some masonry paint for this for now. When you put these down on, obviously when the temperatures go down, it doesn't matter so much in the summer, it doesn't matter, but this will alter what may happen. So water-based paints can never go on a concrete floor. They always have to go on somewhere higher on a shelf. Oil-based paints can. That doesn't really matter. The reason it doesn't matter is because it's oil-based and it can't freeze. But this is water-based, so basically water, it freezes. What will happen is when you finally come to use your stuff, let's say in the summer when you normally do it outside, and paint your brickwork or your masonry, it'll have loads of bits in and the paint's knackered and it'll have to be chucked out, and the price of things at the moment, you don't want to be doing that. So yeah, that's another little tip. So keep your water based on high shelves, and you can put your oil base on the floor. That doesn't matter when storing. So basically that's it for this Fan Dabby Dozy episode. I hope you like those tips. I hope you like my son's recording there. And I'd just like to turn around and say thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one.